What's a smell that when you smell it, it takes you back to your childhood or reminds you of something?
Right away. And I still use it sometimes to this day. Gojo. So the like mechanics, hand cleaner. So when I was growing up, my dad traveled on the road, and on Saturdays, the man was just, he was so methodical and so consistent about things. He'd come in on Friday night, do dinner with the family. Saturday morning, like at the crack of dawn, we'd head out to the shop and clean the truck. And after that, I always remember I'd be just so dirty, and then go into the hot water with Gojo. So whenever I smell that, it takes me back to those mornings with my dad.
My grandpa had that
Gojo.
He had it in his garage in the sink. Mine would be, when I was younger, there were a lot of people that smoked. So when I smell cigarette smoke, I'm not saying like it's like a smell that I'm like, oh, I love, but
yeah,
it reminds Old Spice is one. My grandpa used the old school Spice,
the OG,
yeah. Stetson.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
dude. I was wearing Stetson when I was 6 years old, dude.
You know, the funny thing is, like, my first experiences with cologne, they were my grandfather's, and I remember because like now I know, I remember thinking, I was like, oh, what? Why do people wear this? And it was like, that cologne goes bad in time.
Does it?
Oh, totally. 100%. And when I think back to that, like, I'm thinking like my grandpa, my grandpa Edward is such a phenomenal human, phenomenal man, entrepreneur. But he's probably thinking like, all right, I'm getting saucy, right? And he's putting on this expired, like, old cologne.
Bummer.
Yeah.
I can still smell this. Is our middle school locker room.
Okay.
Is there a smell that like you can go back to that place and the smell of it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, grandparents' house, grandparents' garage, they ran both, he did milk truck delivery, and they had a mink farm. Mink are just nasty little critters. Yeah, so that very, very distinctly in those areas. And then our cabin up north, always, it basically was like kind of a 3 or 4 seasons room, depending how you look at the screen part of it. Very distinct, like not like a mold, but like a must, right?
Mothballs.
Yeah. Yep, do it. Yes.
Yeah, I can smell those right now. Is there a smell that you love that most people would probably think is disgusting?
Yeah. And even it's so funny. My sponsor for drifting, they let me in to use the shop, and all the guys were like, oh, gear oil, transmission fluid, after it's been like past its time and it like burns, it has a very, very distinct smell. I love the smell of it. There's literally some of their guys, like they'll crack the seal in the drift car, and it'll cause them to almost puke. And I'm like, oh, I think it's
my
great.
gosh.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. I don't think I've ever smelled that.
It's very bespoke. And once you have it on your hand, I mean, you got to Gojo, like Gojo, hard Gojo, right, to get that off. But then on the other side of it, like all like race fuel, gasoline, love the smell of that.
Oh, I love the smell of gasoline. I love the smell of a skunk. Isn't that weird? Now, I say that, and people are like, oh, do you like the smell of marijuana? I do not.
Interesting. I mean, to be clear, there are like a skunk smell. There's like a thickness to it, right? Like you like go through, there's a skunk that just got hit on the side of the road. I swerve to get away from it because I believe.
Oh, I'll run over that thing. No, I'm kidding. I don't love it that much. But dude, I smell a skunk and I'm like, I like it. It's weird.
That is really like, where does it come from? Did you hit one at a young age or something?
No, I don't. I had a pet skunk. Like if my dog got sprayed by a skunk, I'd be like, that's awesome. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not that much.
The next time, I need to keep this upstairs. The next time that I have a conversation with Ford, I got to figure out where this came from.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, let's jump into today. Today, we're going to listen to an Instagram reel from Dave Ramsey. I have a lot of respect for Dave Ramsey, what he went through, what he's built. People have different opinions, which everybody has opinions about everyone, right? Yep. Dave, he definitely seems bolder. Maybe people would say angrier.
Yeah.
As he's gotten older. This clip we're going to show, I'm going to be honest, like it could be a little controversial. I mean, like with just the tone and the deliverance.
Yeah. So I get to spend time with a fair amount of construction workers, and I always think, I'm like, man, like y'all could not talk like that within our industry, right?
No.
So this is what I would say is like, bold is a very nice way to say it. There's some other 4-letter words that I think you could probably put in there. But yeah, let's listen to this and apply it to the industry.
If the people you work for are stupid and you stay, what's that make you? And your negatives up, and you're going to have negatives. There's 1,100 opportunities in the building for you to be pissed off. So you're going to have problems. Human beings are in this building. You're not going to like one of them. Something's going to happen. It's going to hurt your little freaking feelings, or you're going to get frustrated with leadership, or you're going to have this. Welcome to life. You can have your negatives. Don't be belligerent, but you can come into any leader's office and sit down and go, I don't understand. I'm really frustrated. Help me. You can do that anytime. You cannot do that at the water cooler with a coworker and go, leadership's a bunch of idiots, because that's disloyal, and I will fire your butt. I have no tolerance for that crap. If you're going to do that, you need to do it in a Facebook group after you quit. Leave me alone. I'm not going to give you money to run me down. Henry Cloud says, I don't understand why people pee in their own cereal and then gripe because it tastes bad. Don't you, in your own backyard. Exactly. And people do it all day long at jobs. All they do is sit around and talk about how stupid the place they work is, and these are the people that give them money to feed their family. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. If the people you work for are stupid and you stay, what's that make you? Stupid. So hit the road. Don't let the door hit you in the butt.
So, that the lyric. Now, I will give him credit. They did cut it up, so it just sounded like he was just on a rant, which he probably was. But I mean, he said some really impactful things.
Oh, so much there.
Like the one that stuck out to me is like, you're going to sit on the clock and talk crap about your leadership while they pay you.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like that's very eye-opening.
The first time I listened to this, I went in one direction, and the second time I listened to this, I really tried to like be on the receiving side of it potentially. Right. And I'll be honest with you, dude, my sense to it is, if we're going to have a complaint, you should have a solution. And why would you complain to someone that does not have power to do something with the solution?
That's gossip, is when you go talk to someone about someone, and that person you're talking to can do nothing about the situation.
Yeah.
It was funny you said that, because we talk about that in orientation. We define what gossip is, and then we are a solutions-focused company.
Yeah.
Don't bring us problems. People can bring, it's easy to bring problems.
Right.
You know, it's harder to bring problems with the solution.
Here's also where, though, you know, I think if you can create an open door, I mean, at the end of the day, like I believe that when we have salons and we have teams within that, what we're doing is hopefully to systematize and smooth things, right? Like path of least resistance.
Yep.
The less resistance that we have in a space, the more things that we can do with it, the more people we can move through it, the more experiences we can create, right? So like if I go to it, I'm trying to think of this. I can't think of it because I am a natural, like I think it was a firefighter maybe in a past life. Like I am on it. Doesn't matter if it's just even the hint of smoke. Let's go. Let's talk about it. There's also the people that don't have the ability to like cognitively think through that. Like I can just tell you that it's a problem. I have no idea what to do with it. I would rather, and I think then that's our opportunity as great leaders. Well, okay, cool. Like it sounds like you don't know what to do, but what are the things that created this issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then okay, cool. So like within this one issue, what can we do about that? And then I think you're naturally leading someone towards the solution. So I would rather have someone, you know, come to me and say, hey, there's this policy. I think it's trash. And this is why. And I don't have a solution. Be like, oh, okay. Because then I'm going to go immediately, you know this, I'm going to go immediately into like, hey, I can understand that perspective. You're on a team. And if everyone did it that way, would we have a problem? Like one of them, I know that we're going to be changing at Antigen. My story is that we're probably going to be moving some of the schedule benefits around. They're not serving anyone, I don't think, at their best as much as what they did at one point. So there's going to be someone that's going to come with like, hey, I think that this is just trash, right? And we're like, okay, totally understand. We're on a team, and because we're on a team, we have a specific goal that we're trying to hit, and we weren't hitting that goal. So our story was that, we already believe in our company that 30 hours is full time. And if you had schedule benefits or whatever, your business wasn't booked and you had 5 hours that week that you weren't in the building, it's going to cause a problem. So if everyone did that and we crank up the multitude of that problem, can you see how it would make it, it's going to make it more difficult for the company to cash flow versus less difficult. Right. So it's so interesting. And I love, that what does he say? He says like peeing in your cereal
and saying, and then being mad because it tastes bad.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know about you, I mean, I don't feel if I'm complaining about something, likely it's that I'm going to say, hey, I got to process this, and I'm likely going to be working my way to what my next step is. That I think is okay. In my mind.
Right.
Like,
well, in the video, he's specifically talking about leadership. You're crapping on leadership. That's a whole different issue.
Totally. Yeah.
That's a cultural issue. We've had that in our company. Like there was times where, somebody, was telling us and, we're like, do we want to know? Like, they're like, no, you don't want to know. Don't know to this day. Don't care. But I'm like, you're going to show up and talk trash about not only leadership, but your coworkers.
Yeah.
And I think our team right now is just, hopefully for the foreseeable future, we don't put up with that.
Yeah.
That's just disrespectful.
Totally.
It's disrespectful to show up and talk trash with the people that you work with, the people that are helping lead the company.
Yeah.
Now, are there bad leaders out there? Yes. But here's the thing. They had enough guts to open up the salon and to make it happen. And if they're trying, you got to give them some grace, And if you want to complain, go somewhere else.
100%. Like if you're the type of person that gossips, I think that that's probably a behavior that was really put into you at a long time ago, because in my mind, what does gossip do? I think it kills relationships. I think it ruins trust. I think it ruins equity. Right. My thing is, man, if and to be very clear, in my mind, there's a specific difference of venting. What that looks like to me is, hey, I have this problem. I need to speak it through because I need to figure out what to do with this.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take action.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas gossiping in my mind, or something of that narrative, it's like, and again, I love when he says the water cooler, because like in my mind, it says, well, then that's happening often, right? Like you go take a break and you're like, gosh, Ed up in blah, blah, blah is just
he's talking about the break room.
Such a jerk. Yeah, for sure.
It's like going in the break room. And like, why people gossip? Why do we gossip? To connect. If I can gossip about, if I can gossip about Tony, shout out Tony. If I gossip about Tony, be like, hey, did you see Tony's doing this? You're like, I did see that. We have a connection now.
Right.
So it's a connection in a negative way.
Yeah.
Or it could be, I'm gossiping for you to see my way to prove that which is all pride and ego.
Yeah. All right. Hey, shameless plug. We want to continue to serve. Check out the App Store. Type in The Refined Network. It's available both on Apple and Android. Here's the thing. It's a way that we can continue to serve you. All of our podcasts, all of our digital resources, and our community is there. Here's the thing. We believe that we're better together. Back to the episode. I'm trying to remember the quote that my mom had spoke with me at like a young age. So it's something to the space, and give me a little bit of grace with it, but there's a specific type of person that talks about other people, right? And then you move up to the person that talks about things, right? And then you move up to the person that talks about like ideas and solutions. Right. And I think that on the way there, like, yes, it could start with a person, and then it could be a thing, and then we're working our way to the solution. Right. I could see that trajectory. But if you're the type of person that just talks about people, right, like for what purpose?
Right.
And then I would probably say that, encourage counseling, because when we judge others, it's judgment. And then how are we judging ourselves? Yeah. Right. It's really interesting. As I was listening to it that time through, I think for the other person that's on the other side of it, because I can't imagine that conversation's fun. And it enrages me when people, like, when I'm having, if someone is in that space and it's like the same thing, you're like, okay, do you want me in listening mode or problem solving mode? What are you going to do with this? Right. And if they came to me over and over and over again, I want nothing to do with that. Right. Like, hey, we've already talked through this. Right. I just saw, as we were looking for podcast episodes, there was this one about a stylist that was complaining about her boyfriend. Right. And like bringing that drama into the salon every single day. Hey, guess what? He's been a jerk. Okay. Is it new, or is this something that you've been permitting? Right. There was someone that went in there. They're like, what she permits, she promotes. And then they're like, there's a bunch of people that called her toxic for it. But I'm like, but wait a minute though. Why are you staying into what he said? Same exact thing. Hey, you don't have to work there. If it's so bad, don't work there. Here's the thing, as a leader, and who knows, as we both know, you've had walkouts, I've had walkouts, right? At that phase of it, that's our opportunity for us to look in the mirror and leaders and say, hey, what was our contribution to this happening, right? Did I get out of touch? Did I become unrelatable, right?
Yep.
Was I walking around too much with a clipboard?
Yep.
Right? Because again, like as leaders, like that's actually happening for us. But I think specifically in that area of that, it is the like, hey, you know what? Life is hard. And and I think if you're in the type of organization, and I think this is a very, like, these are two doors that are very clear. If your leader is someone that shows up and tries, not everyone's brilliant. I'm not. I still make mistakes to this day, all of the time. Why am I open to other people making mistakes? Is genuinely so that I can make them as well.
Exactly.
Right? Like if I'm a jerk to you and I like, let's say it's a client situation, right? And I don't go into it from the side of like, what can we glean from this? Versus if I'm like, hey, Evan, I want to make you feel bad and feel incompetent and feel inferior. What am I doing?
Right.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. I like his perspective. The speak. I could not imagine Ramsey running a salon. I don't know what that culture would look like. However, if it was
clear.
Yeah, very clear. Very clear. If we modify, the tone, the delivery, and some of the verbiage though, like I think that's spot on.
Yeah. And I think if salon owners, even, stylists out there listening to this, like you've got to have a conversation when it comes to this in your company.
Yeah.
When you have that person that's around the water cooler and they're doing things, your team's going to be looking to you and being like, you going to let this happen?
Yeah.
And I think it really defines a team, how fast someone, because I tell people, when I tell our team, I'm like, look, if you gossip, our team will rat you out. They will rat you, because we do not do that.
Yeah.
We don't do it. Because our team, they built their careers in our building.
Yeah.
And our team's focused like, hey, you're not going to come in here and tear this thing down. Like,
no.
And, we just got to make sure that we're transparent as leaders.
Yep.
That we are leading with integrity.
Yep.
And then we have an open door and we're, available, visible, and valuable.
Yep.
Because here's the thing. My wife and I, we don't have another option. So we got to make this thing work, right? They can leave.
Sure.
I can't, Aaron and I can't leave.
Right.
I guess we could if you're like, well, technically,
yeah.
But with the mortgage on the place, it's like, it's not the best use of our time right now in finances.
No.
So we want to build a place that Aaron and I enjoy coming to and that other people enjoy as well. But I think it's spot on. And I think, what was the first thing he said at the beginning of the video? Oh, he's talking about, you're not going to like everyone.
Yeah.
Right. But you have to respect everyone. That's what we tell our team. Look, You're not going to like be friends with everyone and go get drinks afterwards and go get dinner and hang out, but you got to respect. If you can't respect someone, like that's a tough issue.
Yeah. And, and I think in that area of it too, it's like, if that common piece is missing within the relationship and a person doesn't have the ability to understand that, like, honestly, I go try and do it. Go try and do it better. Jordan Peterson, I will shout this episode out. When someone shows you disrespect, you need no closure. You need no conversation. They've let you know through their actions, right? It's so clear, and the thing is like we want the feedback. I always want the feedback, right?
Yeah.
But then there's certain situations where you gotta be like, hey, you know what? No, it actually doesn't matter. Right. So there's an interesting dance there, but to look at that and say, you're so right. Like if a person is unlikable, it might be that they're disagreeable, right? It might be there are proven to be specific Enneagram types that are less likable than others.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some that care less than others, right? Totally okay.
Yep.
That's your style. Have awareness of it. What's the impact when you're in the room? Right. Yeah. Powerful. This, I like this. I like how we're bringing it into a maybe palatable conversation, within, right?
Yep. Leadership and culture makes a difference. If there's any way we could help you guys, if you want, coaching through growth coaching, you're sitting there listening. You're like, you know what? My culture isn't where I want it to be right now. Guess what? It's okay. It's okay. Culture is something you're going to build, and it's not like you get it there and you're just like, okay, I got it here. It's something you got to keep putting, it leaks like a balloon that has a leak in it, or, like tires.
Yep.
You got to keep putting air in it. You got to keep checking it, make sure that all 4 tires are inflated correctly. So you can go to our website, therefinednetwork.com, to check out our coaching packages. That's something you want to lean into, but thank you for listening to the Refined Network.